Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Ardougne task system. In this video today, we will be going through the hard tasks. So to get started with this guide, we're going to go through the requirements and items needed to complete all of the tasks. So these are the quest requirements you need to have completed: Back to My Roots, Catapult Construction, Legends Quest, Lunar Diplomacy, Monkey Madness, Tower of Life, and the Watchtower quest. Guides for all of those quests can be found in the video description below. So that's it for quest requirements. On to skill requirements. You need 65 Thieving, 71 Magic, 59 Hunter, 63 Combat, 59 Slayer, 72 Woodcutting, 57 Farming, 57 Agility, 45 Herblore, and 500 music tracks unlocked. So that's it for requirements. Now onto the item. So you will need a raw cave eel, some giant frog's legs, a knife or an item with a slash ability. I would recommend just bringing a normal knife with you in your inventory. You will need a hatchet, a high level one for combat. The one in your tool belt will work though. You will also need a jade vine grown in the garden. Now if you don't have a jade vine already grown, you just need to have the Jade Vine Seed, and obviously you're going to have to allow yourself some time for it to grow. You need a planted and fully grown papaya tree or palm tree at the Tree Gnome Village fruit tree patch, and again, if you haven't got one of those currently grown, you will need to allow yourself some time to grow that to be able to complete the tasks. A small fishing net, the one in your tool belt will not work. A rope, a Karamja Monkey greegree, only the regular monkey greegree will work. A combat bracelet or skills necklace. You'll need 8 earth runes, 3 lore runes, 2 astral runes, and 2 water runes. The gloves of silence and a lockpick. And obviously, if you're going to be growing the relevant trees and the jade vine that I mentioned, you may well need to pay the farmers to protect your crops in order to make sure they are fully grown. And I'll cover that in a few moments with you. All of the requirements and items listed I will have written in the video description below for your reference. So that's it for the requirements and items. Now onto the tasks themselves. So these tasks can be done in any particular order. You don't have to do the order I show you in the video. The only reason I have done that in that order is it's the fastest way of completing them if you plan on doing it all in one go, the whole set. Now on that note, you may have already completed some of these tasks throughout your adventures through Runescape, so if a certain task doesn't come up as completed, it may be you've already done it. You can view your progress by going to the Heroes tab and selecting the achievements, and then you can see which tasks are remaining for you to complete. Anyways, enough about that, now on to the actual tasks. So the first task we're going to complete is called Blood Bank Withdrawer, and we need to attempt to steal some blood runes from the chest in the Chaos Druid Tower's dungeon. So we're currently at the Ardougne lodestone, which can be accessed via the lodestone network, and the Chaos Druid Tower is just a short distance away. You'll see it being marked on the minimap, and basically you need to go into there, go right down into the basement where there's a load of ogres, and you'll see some chests dotted around. What we need to do is go and attempt to steal some blood runes. Now it does not need to be successful. Merely attempting to open the chest will complete the task, and if you do successfully open it, the chest will randomly teleport you into the Ardougne and the task will be complete. So the next task we're going to complete is called Vendetta, and that's to kill your own wild jade vine after the Back to My Roots quest. Now, obviously, if you haven't already got a jade vine grown and ready to basically kill, you're going to have to allow time for it to grow. So that's why I'm getting you to do this stage now, as obviously you're going to have to come back at a later time once it's finished growing in order to actually finish this task off. So you'll find that you're able to grow your wild jade vine in the mansion in Ardougne, which is being marked on the minimap. And what we need to do, you would have obtained a wild Jade Vine Seed after the Back to My Roots quest, unless you've obviously already got one grown. What you will need to do is, if you haven't, is plant the Jade Vine and then check its health and leave it for a while. Now I mentioned at the beginning of this guide that you can obviously pay the relevant farmers to make sure they don't die of disease. So you can pay Horatio the gardener 10 wild blood hops to protect it, and that will then ensure it doesn't die from disease. Now what you're going to need to do after a fair amount of time, and I know it is quite a good few hours, You'll need to return to the plant once it's fully grown and check its health, and then what you then need to do is allow more time for it to then enter its pruning stage, which again could take another few hours, as it needs to reach its 5th pruning stage before it becomes wild. So like I said, if you need to grow this wild Jade Vine plant, you're going to have to kind of come back to this right at the end of the task. So just obviously my advice would be plant the Jade Vine, pay Horatio to protect it, and then after a few hours you'll want to come back and check it when it's fully grown health, and then obviously allow a bit more time in order for it to turn wild. So we're going to come back to this task a bit further on in the video. The next task is a taste of the exotic, and that's to pick a papaya or coconut from the fruit tree patch near Tree Gnome Village. Now again, I'm getting you guys to do this task next because either you'll have one grown, so you can obviously just complete this one straight away, or you're going to have to allow time for it to be grown. Now it takes about 16 hours for these trees to grow, so obviously you're going to need to give yourself that time to do it. But either way, we're going to head to the Tree Gnome Village fruit patch. Now the quickest way to get there, as you have the Ardougne cloak, is to teleport to the monastery, and it's just a short walk from there. And then once you're at the fruit tree patch, if you've obviously got a papaya or coconut tree already grown, that's great, you can pick it and complete the task. If not, you're going to need to obviously use your sapling that you should have brought with you and plant it. And then again, as you're going to be leaving it for quite some time, you can pay the farmer. Obviously the payment will depend on what fruit tree you're growing. I'm growing a papaya tree, so the payment is 10 pineapples, and then if you're planting a coconut tree seed, you'll need to pay 10 papayas instead. So like I said, if you've already got one growing, as soon as you attempt to pick from it, the task will be complete. If not, we're going to come back to this at a later stage in the video. So the next task we're going to complete, or tasks I should say, as you're going to be able to do 2 here, is Brace Yourself and Shadow Boxing. Brace Yourself is to recharge a combat bracelet or skills necklace at the Legends Guild, and the Shadow Boxing task is to kill a Shadow Warrior in the Legends Guild basement. So we're going to head to the Legends Guild now. Quickest way is to teleport to the Ardougne Lodestone via the Lodestone network, or if you have any other relevant teleport things to get you closer. I believe the skills necklace or combat bracelet will teleport you to the Ranging Guild, which isn't far. Additionally, you can use the fairy ring code BLR to get right outside the Legends Guild. I will note that if you teleport to the Range Guild using the combat bracelet or skills necklace, that will also complete a Seer's Village task, so that also helps as well. So once you arrive at the Legends Guild, you can recharge your combat bracelet or skills necklace by using it on the totem pole, which can be found in the main sort of foyer, and as soon as you've done that, the task will be complete. And then for the shadow boxing, you can head into the basement and make your way around past the bats, and you'll see some sort of like transparent soldiers walking around, which are the Shadow Warriors, and they do not appear as yellow dots on the minimap. And as soon as you kill one of those, that task will be complete as well. So the next task we're going to complete is called Who Wants to Watch the Watchtower, and that's to simply cast the Watchtower teleport spell. So most of you may have already done this one. This requires 2 lore runes and 2 earth runes, and simply teleport to the Watchtower, and as soon as you arrive in there, the task will be complete. While you're in the Watchtower as well, you can complete another one called Not On My Watch, and that is to pickpocket a watchman in your nil while wearing the gloves of silence, and the attempt must be successful to count. Watchmen can be found on the 1st floor of the Watchtower, which you're currently in. So again, once you've successfully pickpocketed the Watchman, the task will then be complete. The next task is Monkey Business, and that is to cross the monkey bars in the Yanil Agility Dungeon. So as you're in the Watchtower now, it's quite easy to get to the Agility Dungeon, it's just a short walk away. It requires a knife or weapon with a slash ability in order to cut through the spider webs. Once you climb down, you can navigate your way through, and eventually you'll come up to the bit with the monkey bars. Now do note, you don't need to actually be successful in order to complete the task. A failed attempt will also complete it, so if you don't make it all the way across, it should should still come up as task being complete. The next task we're going to complete is called Just Like That, and that is to enter the Magic Guild in Youre. Now, if you're still in a dungeon and you did make it across the monkey bars, it's actually just a short walk to get back up into the surface, and you'll actually be inside Youre then. If not, you can just teleport back to the Youre load zone. And obviously, to enter the Magic Guild, you just need to go through the door. However, it does require a level 66 magic. But as soon as you enter the Magic Guild, the task will be complete. The next task we're going to complete while we're in here is called Nice View, and that's to use the portal in the Magic Guild to teleport to 4 Max Tower. Now, you'll find the portals on the top floor, and there's a few different ones to choose from. The correct one to 4 Max Tower is the West Portal. So as soon as you go through the West Portal and arrive in 4 Max Tower, that task will be complete as well. The next task we're going to complete is called Aranea Mania, and that is to cast the Aranea teleport spell, which requires you to be on the lunar spellbook. Now, obviously, because you would have completed some tasks earlier without being on the lunar spellbook, you're going to need to go and change it over, and the quickest way to do that is to teleport to the Lunar Isle lodestone. And it's just a short walk to the altar, and then you can obviously pray it to change over to the lunar spells. Once you have the lunar spells, you can then cast the Aranea teleport, which will require 1 lore, 6 earth and 2 astral runes, and level 71 magic. Also, you need to have talked to Baby Yaga after completing the lunar diplomacy quest to learn the spell. So if you go to use it and it doesn't let you, if you go back into the lunar village town, whatever you want to call it, via the lodestone, and go into the giant walking house, you can talk to Baby Yaga and go through some dialogue, and eventually she will then teach you the spell, and then just re-attempt to teleport. But as soon as you arrive at the Aranea area, the task will be complete. Now, the next task we're going to complete is called It's Minute, and it's to catch a red salamander from the hunter area outside of the Aranea altar. So if you've just teleported to the Aranea area, you'll be right near where the red salamanders are, and this obviously requires a small fishing net in your inventory, not the tool belt one, and a rope to set up the traps. So what you need to do is obviously set up a trap around where the red salamanders are, and after being a little bit patient, eventually one of them will step into the trap, and as soon as you've done that and successfully caught one, the task will be complete. The next task we're going to complete is called It Just Croaked, and that is to kill a frog eel in the Tower of Life. So what we need to do, we need to head to the Tower of Life, and the quickest way to get there is to use your Ardougne cloak to teleport to the Kandarin monastery, and it's just a short walk to the Tower of Life from there. So once you arrive, go into the basement, and like the previous task, you'll need to use ingredients to create the monster. So you need to use a raw cave eel and giant frog legs on the western altar. Be careful not to eat the giant frog legs, as that's the default left click option. Once you've put the items onto the altar, it will create the frog eel, and once you've killed it, it will come up with task being complete. The next task we're going to complete is called Get Your Stinking Hands Off Me, and that's to have a zookeeper put you in the Ardougne Zoo's monkey cage, and this obviously requires the Monkey Madness quest. Now, if you've completed the Monkey Madness quest, you should have already completed this task, because you actually have to do this as part of the quest. But either way, if you haven't, what you need to do is head to the Ardougne Zoo, which is just a short walk from the monastery, so you can teleport to the monastery again if you wish. And what you need to do is, while wielding the Karamja Monkey greegree, and only this one will work because it's the only one similar to the monkeys in the cage, you then need to speak to one of the monkey minders, and they will then stick you in the cage. And once that happens, the task will be complete. You can then also speak to one of the monkey minders in human form inside the cage, and they'll let you back out. The next task we're going to complete is called Living on a Prayer, and that's to use the air guitar emote near the musician southeast of the monastery. So we can teleport back to the monastery via the Ardougne cloak, and then what you need to do is stand right next to where the musician is, and then select the air guitar emote, which requires 500 music tracks unlocked in order to use. Now, back in the day, 500 music tracks was quite a lot, but actually it's quite easy to unlock them now just by doing quests and dungeoneering, so most of you should have that without having to actually seek out any music tracks in particular. And once you've done that, the task will be complete. Now, there are two tasks we're going to complete next, or attempt to. One is called You're the Dirty Rascal, and that's to be on the winning side in a game of Castle Wars. And the other task is Artillery Strike, which is to use a catapult in a Castle Wars game after gaining the knowledge from the catapult construction quest, which would automatically happen once you completed it. Now, the good thing is with the catapult, you don't actually have to hit anything, you just need to shoot it. So obviously that will be quite easy to do. Being on the winning side will obviously depend on a couple of things. Now, I was quite lucky and randomly got entered into a Castle Wars game with no one else in it, so I was able to just nick the winning size flag, put it on my team's one, and then just sit out the rest of the game. But what I would advise is most of you go to the Castle Wars world and then join in with a game, and obviously it all depends on the sort of side you get chosen with if there's other people playing. Also, if Castle Wars is the spotlighted mini game, that will also help to actually get into a game. Either way, we're going to head to Castle Wars. Now, you can either teleport using the Ring of Dueling to go to the Castle Wars area, or you can teleport to the Youre Lodestone and walk to Castle Wars from there. So once you're in Castle Wars lobby and you've successfully entered the game, the first thing I'd advise you doing out of the way is to complete the Artillery Strike one. So what you need to do is go into your sort of team's basement and collect a rock, and then what you need to do is go up to this area where obviously you'll find your catapult, and what you need to do is simply fire the catapult with the rock. As I said before, it doesn't actually have to hit anyone in order for it to be successful. It will load up an interface, you can choose where you're going to fire. I would just obviously once you've picked a random target, click it, and as soon as you've done that, that task will be complete. After that, it is then a case of just trying to win a game of Castle Wars. So the idea of it is to get to the enemy side, steal their flag and bring it back to your own side, and again it will depend on the amount of players in it. So yeah, as you'll notice on the video, for me, I don't know how I managed to get entered into a Castle Wars game with no one in there, but that made it quite easy for me. I just sat out the remaining of the game. But either way, once you've successfully won a game of Castle Wars, that task will be complete. Now, for those who already had a fully grown Jade Vine and a Papaya or Coconut tree, this might have been your last task completed. So once you have completed all the tasks, it should come up with a prompt asking to go and speak to the rewards person. But obviously for most of you, you may be still waiting for your trees to grow. So what we need to do, in order to finish off the task with the Papaya Coconut tree, we just need to return to the tree patch in Tree Gnome Village. Hopefully after a little bit of time is grown, you then just need to simply check the health of the tree and then pick a piece of fruit, and once you've done that, that task will be complete. As for the Jade Vine, you'll need to return twice, so the first time will be to inspect that it is fully grown healthily, which if you paid Horatio it should have been. Once you've done that, you then need to leave it for several hours for it to start requiring pruning, and once it's reached a certain stage, its fifth and final stage, when you come back, the Jade Vine should be going mental, and then it's a case of killing it. So actually killing the Jade Vine is really easy, it's just the time required waiting for it to fully grow. But again, once you have successfully killed your fully grown Jade Vine, you'll be given the seed back if you dig it back out, and the task will be complete. Now, if for any reason it's come up that you've still got some tasks outstanding, what it will mean is you've not completed one of the tasks correctly, so just refer to which task that actually is, and then just go about completing it again. But as long as you've gone through how I've described it in the video, you shouldn't have any problems. So to claim our reward, we need to go and speak to Alec in Alec's Hunter Emporium in Youre. You need to make sure you bring your Ardougne Cloak 2 with you for it to be upgraded. And once you speak to him, you'll be given the following rewards. So you'll be given an experience lamp granting 28,000 experience in a skill of your choice over level 60, and the Ardougne Cloak 3, which in addition to Ardougne Cloak's 2 bonuses will grant the following bonuses. So when worn, increased chance of success when pickpocketing and stealing from chests anywhere in Runescape. Even more drops from the creature creation will now be noted, approximately 80%. Stealing from the chests in the Ardougne Castle or the Chaos Druid Tower will teleport you to the East Ardougne's North Bank instead of a random location. At all times, Wizard Crompty will give you 150 noted pure essence per day, and the Watchtower teleport can be toggled to go to Youre instead by speaking to any Ardougne task NPC. So there we are, task complete. So that's all the hard tasks now, so all that will leave you is the Ardougne Elite task, which once I have the requirements in place to do it, I will make a guide for it, and you'll be able to find that in the video description below. Now there is a little thing I will show to you guys, as I actually found this helpful little money maker if you want something really easy to do, and it basically is to do with the creature creation now giving you over like 80% of the drops noted. That actually makes it quite easy to make some money making, so I'll just talk you through it just as a little reference for you guys if you choose to do so. So, preferably with a beast of burden carrying a few red spider eggs, you'll get where I'm going with this in a few moments, which can be bought from the Grand Exchange. What you want to do is teleport to Port Sarim, and if you go into the fishing shop, you want to fill up your inventory with raw sardines. So you've got a full bag of them and some red spider eggs in your familiar's beast of burden. What you then want to do is teleport to the Tower of Life via the monastery teleport with the cloak, and then head over to where the southeast section is, and there's the altar here where you can activate the symbol of life. And what you then need to do is with your raw sardine, you can place one of them onto the altar and one of the spider eggs, and that will create a spidine. Now the spidines will drop noted and occasionally unnoted red spider eggs that actually are worth a fair bit on the Grand Exchange. So if you watch on the footage, all I will do is just keep activating the altar with a raw sardine and spider egg, and another spidine will appear. Using ranged is best for this because then you haven't got to keep moving around so much. And basically you just want to keep repeating this process using all your sardines up. Now what you can do, which say if you happen to bring a full beast of burden of red spider eggs with you, is if you unequip your cloak when you kill a spidine, it will just obviously drop these spider eggs unnoted, so you can actually use that as well instead of having to rely on bringing the physical red spider eggs with you. What I'll do, I'll just speed through this footage and it will show you in a moment how many spider eggs I got within what was probably about 3 or 4 minutes of just doing this. So obviously the spidine will drop some random things as well associated with the creature creation, like satchels and stuff, which literally you can just drop back on the ground. You don't need to collect them, they're not worth anything. But if you look on the interface being shown, obviously this is with the current GE prices. Doing about 4 or 5 minutes of this little process, well, in one trip I should say really, was able to get over 230k's worth of red spider eggs, which actually is not bad really. Obviously it's a little bit repetitive doing this, but it's sort of minimal effort in order to do it. It's just a case of obviously having a few red spider eggs to begin with and buying the sardines from the fishing shop in Port Sarim, which are really cheap. So there's not real much sort of spending to begin with in order to make this money. So just thought I'd show that to you guys as a little bonus if you're wanting an easy money making method. It's just something worth doing with the benefits of completing the hard tasks. But yeah, anyways, you shouldn't have any problems following my guide. However, if you do get stuck at all, then leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers everyone, bye bye.